am so excited to talk to you guys today. I want to talk about confidence, specifically how to build confidence in your offers. I talked about why you're losing the sale. And one of the many reasons that I gave is that it might be because you just don't really have confidence in yourself, your brand, the prices that you're quoting people, or what you're offering. And when you don't have confidence in your brand or your offer, we can tell. We aren't confident in it either. That's why having confidence in what you have to offer is so important. So that's why I want to talk about it today. In my TED Talk, I talked about how to build true confidence in your life and in yourself. But today I want to take a slightly different angle, and I want to talk about specifically in your business. I am Pia Silva. I am the founder of No BS Agencies, where I help small creative agencies build more profitable agencies without needing to grow bigger, without needing employees, without needing to get those whale corporate clients. Small, nimble, flexible, profitable. That's what I'm all about. And confidence is actually a key piece of the puzzle. It's actually a key to building a no BS agency because it's at the core of how we are able to deliver services at high prices, right? You can't charge high prices if you don't feel confident in the prices that you're charging. It's really hard to charge high prices without giving more time. You know what that takes? When you're going to double your price, but not give any more time to the client, takes a lot of confidence. That's why we're going to talk about it today. It's also at the core of what I teach in the program, which is how to deliver work, how to run a project, how to run a lead product, how to run a creative project so that it stays tight, so that it stays within the time frame that you had scheduled for it without going out of bounds, without going out of scope. All of that takes an incredible amount of confidence. It's not really how I talk about it, but you could sum up the entire No BS agency model as being about building your own confidence. If you want to learn more about that, if you have a small agency and you want to get rid of the BS, I laid the whole thing out in a blueprint. I laid the whole business model out in a No BS blueprint for profitable agencies. Okay, so let's get into it. How do you build this confidence? If I had to use one word, I would say repetition. Repetition is the best way to build confidence in something. That's why I urge everybody to specialize in who you work with, specialize in how you work, your process, your packages. That's what the beauty of having clear packages is. When you have something that you do over and over with repetition, you build confidence. Remember the first time you drove a car. Everybody remembers the first time they drove a car? First time I drove a car was in driver's ed, and I was pulling out. I learned in the middle of New York City, right? So I'd never driven a car before, and I was sitting with the instructor next to me on Park Avenue, and he said, pull out. Squeeze me? Which one is the gas and brake? Oh my God, the most terrifying experience of my life. So scared because I had never done it before. But obviously repetition, right? You can drive a car and honestly tune out. You don't even really think about it. How incredible is that our repetition, it seeps into our body, it seeps into our muscles, and we become very confident in it. So what I want to remind you is nobody starts out confident in anything. Confidence is something that you must build. Anytime you're doing something for the first time, you are not going to be super confident in it. And that's just the nature of everything. So that's one thing I want you to remember. Everybody starts out lacking confidence, and you can only get confidence by doing something over and over again. The second thing I want you to remember is that confidence isn't like a this or that kind of thing. You either have it or you don't. We have different levels of confidence in all kinds of things in our lives, right? Like from one moment to the next, we might have a lot of confidence in one thing that we're doing. Maybe you're a really good cook and you're cooking dinner and you're like, oh, I got this. The garlic is perfectly sauteing while I'm chopping this thing over here, right? And then you turn around and you have to have a call with somebody and you're super scared because you've never had a sales call before, or anything. So from one moment to the next, we are going in and out of different levels of confidence. And that's really important to remember. I think a lot of people think I have a lot of confidence, right? You might think I look like I have a lot of confidence. Sure, I do have a lot of confidence. And I am constantly feeling insecure about things too. That is the nature of being an entrepreneur, because if you are constantly pushing yourself to grow, then you are always going to be going into territory that is new, that is unfamiliar. So you will always be in a situation at times when you are not as confident. And the only way to get over that is through repetition. How does this relate specifically to your offers? The first time you do anything, it's going to be new to you. So you're probably going to feel a little scared about it, insecure, and not sure exactly how it's going to go. And that is the nature of doing new things. I teach people how to do a lead product, right? It's like a cornerstone of what I teach in the No BS agency model. Get rid of the proposal, sell a lead product instead. Even if you've done something like a lead product, if you've never done it this way, it's new to you. So you're not going to be, I'm sorry to say, perfect at it the first time. And that's totally okay. Nobody would expect you to. You would never expect somebody who's never driven a car before to just get in the car and zip off and be fine. Same thing with anything in your business. But do it 20 more times, you're going to be a pro. You're going to feel good about it because you've seen it before. So doing something over and over again is how you build that confidence in that offer. And that confidence, let's say you have gone from doing your first lead product and you've never done it before and you're very insecure about it, or you're very scared about it. Let's say you go from there to doing 20 of them and you've had 20 clients and you've made some mistakes, but you fixed them, and you've had 20 people tell you how amazing this is. How are you going to feel the next time you offer that lead product to somebody new? It's going to completely change your energy, right? It's going to completely change your energy. That's why having confidence is so important. And that's why repetition in the thing that you're doing is so important. Because when you're offering it and selling it to people and you're looking for clients, you need to genuinely know that this thing is going to offer a lot of value, is going to solve their problem because you've seen it before. So repetition is key. That's also why, again, I think you need to package your services so you can do the same kind of process over and over again. And that's why it's so valuable to work with the same kind of clients, because the more times you've seen the same kind of client in the same kind of situation, the more confident you'll be in your ability to solve those problems. So the other piece of this, not a small piece, is the price. Your pricing. So the first time you charge more than you've ever charged before, it's going to make you nervous, right? If you've never charged more than $500 for something and then you quote somebody $5,000, and I've seen people do this because they get really excited about me talking about premium prices. I'm like, yeah, you can charge more for these things. And they go, oh, great, I'm going to 10x my price. And then they start telling people, okay, it's $5,000 now, and nobody buys. And they come back to me and they say, nobody bought it. Like, I raised my price. Why didn't anyone buy it? And I say, because you've never charged $5,000 for this thing before. And that's quite a leap from $500. And unless you have built up your own internal confidence about that price point and about the value that you charge, I think it's going to be really hard for somebody to spend that money with you, because I think it's really hard for you to believe it yourself. So on the flip side, how do we build that confidence to say to somebody, hey, I'm going to do a one-day branding workshop for you. I'm going to build your brand in a day, and it's $25,000 without blinking, without sweating. How do I say that? I started by charging $3,000 for a one day, and then it was $4,000, and then it was $5,000, and then it was $6,000. And for a stretch there, I was just adding $1,000 on top every couple of clients. I would just add 1,000 more, add 1,000 more. And that is my strategy for increasing pricing and building that confidence, is you can build it by taking these little leaps and doing them early and often. So instead of going from, I've never charged more than $5,000 for a client, and now I want to charge $10,000, instead of saying, well, let me just say $10,000 and see if anyone buys it, which, by the way, never works. If you're like, ooh, maybe they'll just buy it, like, that never works. You need to personally be very invested and clear on the value and why you're charging what you're charging. Or else, again, we can tell, like, we know, and we're not comfortable with it. We, the people that you're talking to and offering this to. Instead, we raise the price often. So if somebody buys something for $500 a couple of times, let's say I have 10 clients and they've all paid me $500. Like, I feel really good about that price, right? People have paid me that price. I've delivered a really great service for that price. They got a lot of value. I feel great about it. It's not a huge leap for me to then charge somebody $600, $700. And it might be a little bit higher than I've ever charged before, but when I say that to somebody, it's not like out of the realm of possibility. And so when somebody retorts, oh, that's too much money, I'm not going to say, oh my God, my price is too high. I'm going to say, oh, that person isn't in the position to pay for this. Do you see how different that is about your own ability to own your pricing and to have that confidence? It requires you to be comfortable when somebody doesn't buy from you, that it's not a problem with the price, or it's not a problem with the service that you're offering. The only way for you to really have that confidence is to have done it already many times. So you want to go from $500 for your service to $10,000. My recommendation is you sell it at $500 a couple of times, then you raise it to $650. Then you sell it again, raise it to 7 or 750 or 850, raise it again, sell it again, raise it again. Keep validating those prices and do it often. You can get to $10,000 pretty quickly if you do it that way. And guess what's going to happen along the way? You're going to be working with all of these clients who you're going to continue to build your own confidence in your own ability to deliver this service and to deliver this service at the price that they are paying. So that is, I think, the best way to authentically and honestly build confidence is to just do something with repetition and push yourself. On the one hand, I'm giving you a strategy and an approach that's not going to require you to, I think, be dishonest, right? If you've never charged $500 for something and then you say $10,000, like there's something dishonest about that because it's not a price that you have ever delivered value on. It's not tested. At the same time, I want you to continually push yourself to go farther and go farther every single time you do something. If you are pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, every next client, you will build that confidence much faster. And I call that taking leaps. Take a leap each time you work with a new client. Stretch the project a little bit more. Deliver more value than you said you were going to. Guess what? Next time you can charge for that. That's what I did with the brand up. I did a set amount of services at $3,000, but then we would make it even better. And then as soon as we made it better, that person that paid us $3,000, they got way more than they paid for. But we also got to validate the service and the extension of that service. And I turned around and the next person I said, it's a little bit bigger and it's $3,500 or it's $4,000. And that's how we worked our way up. And it was an organic development of confidence. Oh, last thing, this goes for everything. So the same thing goes for investing in yourself. If you've never spent or you've never invested more than $1,000 in your own business, then somebody comes to you and says, this is a $10,000 program. That's going to be a really hard pill to swallow. But if you invest in yourself a little bit at a time and you keep pushing that envelope, you're going to grow your own comfort with investing higher and higher dollar amounts. And although higher dollar amounts do not always equal better value, they also often do. And the more you can invest in yourself and invest in your business, the more you'll be able to also build the confidence to charge a lot more. It must be said that it's very hard to charge prices that you've never paid. So if you've never spent or invested more than $1,000 in your business, but you want people to pay you $10,000, that's going to be a really hard pill to swallow. That's going to be really hard for you to pitch to other people because you're saying to them, I think that you should invest this much in your business, but I can't. Okay, so that is all I have for today. If you're more interested in learning more about building confidence, building a no BS agency that's more profitable, I would love to show you how you can build confidence in order to build that more profitable, more flexible agency full of freedom.